Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dream League. It is time for the second day of the second qualifier. Today we have 2 series for you, and let's take a look at what those games are. The first series of today, it is Hellraisers. They're taking on Basically Unknown. For me, this is a personal favorite series. I'm expecting loads of aggression from both teams, and it should be a treat to watch. With the second series, I mean, might not be one of my favorites, but definitely also a very interesting game to watch because Complexity will play again. We saw them play last week, and up against them, it's a Dota logo, but that's because EE's Disciples, they have not chosen a logo just yet, but that will be the team that makes it through the open qualifiers, and they will face Complexity as the second series of today to decide who goes into the semi-finals. Of course, with me as well, a couch full of lovely people. Again, though, you're missing Shane as he is still ill, but still as a good replacement. Bogdan, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you. I'm doing very good. I've been feeling a little sad today, though. A little bit of crying, but other than that, I'm fine.
I'm actually curious because I actually thought your name was Bogdan, but your name is Eric.
Yes, that is correct.
Who would have thought his name actually wasn't Bogdan? Crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, none of us use nicknames.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
No,
That's
but
really
Bogdan
weird.
is actually a normal name.
Yeah, in Romania.
Know people, it is.
Yeah, no, but it is. It really is.
I know Romanian named Bogdan, so
Yes.
it's like, oh yeah, I already thought like maybe some Romanian heritage. It
Yeah,
could be.
no. It was my cousin. I was like 8 years old playing a driving game on Nintendo, and he was really cool. And he was like, "I'm the driving master. Are you Bogdan?" And I was like, "Yes." And since that, I was called Bogdan. So it was like he just came up with the funniest sounding name he could, and that was Bogdan to him. So that's the story.
Okay. For me, it's just a normal name. But
Yeah.
I mean, we don't always call people by their nicknames. I call you Andy. I call Owen Owen.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of like a term of endearment, right? Because most people who don't know you, who only know you by your personality name, will only call you, like they call me Draskell. Nobody walks up to me and calls me Andy.
Nobody walks up to me and calls me by my real name, apart from Owen. He tries sometimes.
I do. I know that I'm messing up the pronunciation every time.
But your name is actually difficult to say properly, so that's different. But
you
if
said
somebody...
there's 2 different ways of pronouncing it. You can either say Joreen
Joreen
or Joreen.
or Joreen.
Joreen.
Ah, okay.
Good luck, or just say yo.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yo.
Eric, Owen, Andy.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Point taken. Still though.
Just saying.
But I mean, there's
Time
nothing wrong with calling each other nicknames either.
No, it's fine. But I was just saying, for some people, if somebody doesn't know you, they call you Bogdan, right? Because
Yeah,
they don't.
absolutely.
Yeah, they
but
haven't
like
met you
when
before.
Loda and I hang out, we call each other Loda and Bogdan.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of weird, but because everybody at the house, like the good house, calls me Andy. Nobody calls me by my tag or whatever.
Actually, everyone from my university calls me Bogdan as well. So it's like
that is so weird.
it
That
caught
is
on.
kind of weird.
It's caught on. I just
Who calls you Eric?
almost
Your
no
mom.
one. My mom.
I was gonna say your
basically.
family
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
That's basically it. That's the only ones left.
Okay. Well,
At work also. At work.
at work they call you Eric.
Yeah.
Because they don't
At the
know.
other work.
They don't know. They don't know about Bogdan.
They do know about Bogdan,
Okay.
but it hasn't really caught on. But I
Okay.
think it might though. Just give it a few years.
Few
You
years.
should just be like, no, please call me Bogdan when you're at work. That would be legit.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very
Professional.
Yeah, an air of professionality. Exactly. Hello to a new client. I'm Bogdan. Bogdan Bravard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because you add the last name with it too, or is that actually your
No,
last name?
Bogdan Bravard is actually a Swedish name meaning sort of like feet. And I was doing a bunch of like stupid shit when I was little. I managed to get into a lot of like stupid accidents, like falling down a few meters, running into a tree, falling down from a cliff, stuff like that.
Into a tree.
And that,
How did you run into
I
a
didn't
tree?
know. I know.
It's
Sorry,
Sweden,
I
anything
mixed
can
it up.
happen.
I drove my snow
There's
race.
a lot of trees in Sweden.
Yeah, no,
but
no.
I mean-
I drove my snow racer into a tree. I mixed those up.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
easily.
That makes a bit more sense. Yeah.
But it was a bunch of those mishaps.
Yeah.
And that was my feats, aka bravader in Swedish. So Bogdan Bravard. That's how it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Owen, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Looking forward to the games today. Obviously, we've got a couple of matches, kind of what we've had pretty much every day in Dream League. We've got one matchup, which is between 2 teams that we know both, Basically Unknown versus, of course, the side of Hellraisers. And then we've got EE's Disciples, which is going to be exciting to see. A team that I don't think we've got a single stat on them. We might do. They might be able to surprise me, but I have a feeling we don't know a lot about EE's Disciples.
It's Crucial 2.0, basically. We have no
Is it?
idea
Yeah.
what we're going to expect, So.
I have to say, I am slightly distracted, but I looked at the camera and you didn't see it in the camera.
Oh, do you not?
And I did not.
No.
And what did I not see in the camera? You wonder. There is Guyliner.
A fabulous guy.
Oh.
Fabulous.
Why did you ask for it?
Well, I
That's why
thought
I'm
it was a good
curious.
idea, but then when it was put on, I was like, Jesus Christ, I look at like someone out of that Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
Look, you can't see it.
Yeah.
I can't look at the. You can't.
Yeah, it's really difficult to look at the camera.
You can a little
A
bit.
little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but when you get
very
home,
subtle. Yeah.
like when we had the Halloween show last season,
That was subtle.
I had so much eyeliner on that when I got home, it was impossible to get it off. It took me like a week. I'm glad I didn't have to go out of the house because people would have thought I was
Yeah.
I was not right in the head.
Showering helps.
Yeah, well, I did like 4 times. I got home and I spent like an hour just going. It doesn't work. It doesn't come off.
Have to have a better brand of makeup wipes.
Yeah, I blame Tilda.
That's a good one to blame. Of course.
And she made me put contacts in, which I never wore contacts before.
That must be
and
really
it took
scary,
me like
actually.
45 minutes to try
you
to
wearing
get into my
contacts
eyes.
at the moment?
No.
You're just blind.
Well, it was because they were colored contacts, right, for the
So
costume.
you don't normally need contacts.
No. I mean, I should wear them, but I don't because I'm irresponsible. So sometimes it's like if I'm ever driving, I can't read speed limit signs.
Oh, really?
So I need glasses.
Why don't you have glasses?
I do.
Oh,
But you just.
I just don't wear them because I
okay.
don't need them here because I can see this and
Yeah.
I can see you. But
You can
anywhere
see the
past
computer.
there, it's like a kaleidoscope. So I just like
When
see
do you
random
wear it?
colors and shapes. What?
when do you wear them?
When I drive. Because I have to. In the U.S., I
Yeah.
cannot drive without them.
But here you can.
You can.
But I don't
sounds
drive
ominous.
here because that's what Script and Web Bus are for.
Fair enough.
They're like my chauffeurs.
Yeah, of course.
Paid, of course,
Yeah.
but you know.
Of course.
But in food.
I mean, you got to eat, right?
Everybody's
Otherwise, I think
gonna eat.
Scriff would have starved to death. There would have been like Sarah McLachlan music, and you just see Scriff on the screen, and it's just like, please feed a Scriff for $5.99 a day. You think I'm kidding, but really, like he would have starved to death.
I thought Scriff was the more responsible one in the house.
He is
At the moment.
responsible, but only about the things that actually need to get done.
So not about food.
Well, I mean, it's funny
cooks.
because a lot of people prioritize themselves lower than everything else. It's like, I can just eat tomorrow instead. He's done that before. He just goes like an entire day without eating anything. And then I'm just like, Scriff,
It's not
what did
good.
you eat yesterday? He's like, oh, I don't know. I smoked like 4 cigarettes and I was fine. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It's not
The
great.
reverse dream.
Yeah. But you're doing good too today.
Yeah,
Apart from
I'm
that,
fine.
I mean, you're
I'm great.
talking about food a little bit now. Is that comfortable for you?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
He's slightly
Me and food
hungry.
food and I have a great relationship. Like I love food. Unfortunately, I just don't get to eat it very often, apparently, because people eat my cheeseburgers. Nah, it's okay.
It wasn't us. Just to clarify, it was not us. Let's take a look at the format for the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, which is, of course, why we're here. It's Dota, and the format is it's pretty straightforward. There are 8 open qualifiers. 2 teams per open qualifier move through a main qualifier, where there are 4 qualified teams and 4 invited teams, and we're now in the main qualifier. We're in number 2. Last week, ASUS Polar was victorious in main qualifier number 1, and this week, well, we'll have to find out who's going to be victorious because, I mean, we're still in the middle of it. We're still actually in the quarterfinals of it, so it's going to take a little time, and also meet King's Crane. King's Crane. We have to come up with a name for him because, I mean, he's there.
I mean, that's
all
the
time.
proper name of the bird, though, isn't it?
It is, but when
Yeah.
I'm not calling my cat like by the brand of its cat, by the race.
No?
Brand of cat sounds
Brand,
better.
yeah, that was a good one.
I like that one. So wait a minute. I don't mean to change the subject randomly, but in the first qualifier, wasn't it Hellraisers who beat Complexity last time? Or was it?
No.
Because they beat M5, right?
Hellraisers got knocked out by.
Was it Burden who
It was
beat them?
yeah.
And then Burden lost to
yeah.
Asus.
'Cause these two
Asus
didn't
knocked out Complexity. They were on opposite sides of the bracket.
Asus knocked out Hellraisers. Burden United knocked out Complexity.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so these 2 teams haven't faced before.
Okay, that's cool.
The first series that we're going to see Hellraisers. It's not these 2 teams, but like the teams that we might see in the semifinals.
Well,
We
we're
don't know
kind of
yet.
expecting it to be Hellraisers Complexity, right?
Yes.
Like that's kind of what everyone's going into it thinking. So
I actually think basically Unknown has had a pretty good shot today too. I mean,
if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be that series, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
Ban Magnus.
Ban Magnus. And we saw a lot of Magnus yesterday as well. And I think during MLG Columbus as well, mostly. Actually, not yesterday, just MLG Columbus. We had a lot of Magnus at that game, those games. So I'm going to expect Magnus's band. But let's actually, yesterday we had already 2 quarterfinals. So let's take a look at the highlights of yesterday's games.
Dale. Maybe he looks for more. He's a little bit low on mana. Miposhka leading the charge, and beautiful. Sing Sing pops the avalanche, which Miposhka blinks into, stopping him from chasing down the Tiny. Paris will look to TP out. They've got nowhere to cancel it, so he went for that straight away after the BK, after the blink, sorry. So has to be very aware. And there's your blink in Paris, catching 2 out with a Hoostop, and the ultimate as well from the Queen of Pain. Find a nice Echo Slam onto Paris, and the Quap. That's 2 heroes down. It's a double kill for Brash. 2 heroes on each side going down. Miposhka with the BKB on the troll, trying to chase people down. They lose the Earthshaker again. The side yellow sandwich. The Sing Sing will fall down for 76. It's a 3-for-3 buyback from Paris, enables them to pop the Aegis.
TP bottom lane could be cancelled. No, he wants to go. All right.
Blam? Well, his ball's certainly bigger than his HP bar. He will get blown up straight away. TP in as well from the Disruptor. There is backup for the Morphling as well. Nice standing strong, catching out a couple here. But then comes the GA, actually only catches himself out, and the creeps. So Shadowfeet goes down, and J4, he's caught in the middle of it all. Baby Knight with the Troll Wall of Bashes can turn this one around with Ace. Ditcherar, he's managed to find a couple of kills, trying to find crit on the Disruptor as well. Omni Knight goes down. He will find Disruptor, but Juggernaut goes down as well. It's the full team. Disruptor, living armor again, saving this Disruptor's backside. Storm, he's out of mana. He brought back into that one. He goes down. Buybacks now from the Slark and the bench. They really want to fight this. Baby Knight getting low, but press the attack, keeping him alive. They're all stuck in the party ring. Hand of God comes out, keeping forth them very, very high in health, but it's not high enough. The laser beams coming out from Phoenix. Triple kill for Baby Knight. GG is called. 31.5 minutes in.
Yeah, welcome back in the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios. And with yesterday's games out of the way, that means that it was Flipside and Burner United moving through to the semi-finals. And one more semi-finals, of course, to be decided today. I'm actually really curious, what was your favorite moment of yesterday's games, Bogdan?
Well, my reverse favorite was the one we saw last.
Yeah.
Which I think we established yesterday. Favorite moment, that would probably be, I don't think it was in the video though, but the Axe Rampage. I think at the 10-minute.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he
cool.
spun so much when the clockwork initiated.
It was insane.
He was just helicopter. His feet, I'm pretty sure, left the ground.
Yeah.
That's how much he was spinning.
And I mean, it was the correct decision by Clockwork. But I mean, at least it should have been in theory. But it looked so funny. It was like, Axe, you forgot your Rampage. I'm coming right now. Because he literally hooked himself into death.
He goes, there's no way I don't kill this guy. You know? He's like, I got battery assault. He's got like 20% HP.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
I think someone tweeted at me that Clock was able to hit him 3 times, and all 3 times this span.
That is literally like 1 in 1,000 or something like that, because of how the pseudo-random works.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 in 1,000 or something.
It's crazy. That was, of course, Yellow Submarines.
Now, right?
Dale.
It's 17, but since it's pseudo-random, it starts around 10 for the first hit, so sort of 10.
All 17% abilities are game ruining. Spirit Breaker Bash is also 17%.
Yeah, but that's not pseudo-random though. That's the only one that's not, I think.
That's true.
Oh.
Yep.
It was
Just remove
Dale.
bashes and spins.
Just to clarify, Yellow Submarine, Dale. That's nice to say the names. We have got, of course, 4 teams to see today. Now, the first 2 teams that we're going to see are Hellraisers as well as basically Unknown. Let's take a closer look to Hellraisers as we know them already, because we saw them last week. They actually did really well, and I think yesterday when we talked a bit about the entire bracket, there were quite a few people that believed that Hellraisers would be the team to face Burner United in the grand finals of this qualifier, which would be on Friday. Are we still on the same page? Do we agree?
I think so.
Yes.
I don't see, if they're going to get upset, it's going to be in the first series.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
if they get to the semifinals, obviously it'll be the matchup between them and Complexity, and that's like what I think everyone is expecting to happen. So I don't know. I think it's kind of a stretch to say that they would lose this series, but it is possible.
One thing that for Hellraisers is pretty tricky is that it seems like the way that F1 Ninja plays the game is determining if they win or lose. If a Ninja has a good game, they win. If he has a bad game, or in last week's case, he's not present, they end up losing. Is that something that you would agree with, Bogdan?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's F1 Ninja and Artis as well. I mean, the 2 position 1 and 2. But they would, I'd say, yeah, if both of them are having a bad game, they're definitely going to lose, for sure. I mean,
but you could say that about any team.
Yeah.
Your mid player and your core.
But I would argue, but I would actually argue if you say Secret, for instance, instead, Zai would probably, it's not that uncommon that I see him on top of the net worths if the mid and the carries are doing bad. And the same goes for like Ice and some of the other really, really good offlaners. I don't think I've seen sort of the same thing in Hellraisers.
That's also due to play style, though. Like, some teams set you up for success.
Yeah.
So I think the way that Hellraisers plays, they want Artes and they want FNJ to have good games.
Absolutely.
So it's so gameplay based that it's not necessarily just the individual performance of the player as much as it is our strategies are built around them doing well.
Yeah.
And when it fails, then we lose.
Yeah.
You know.
So would you say that Hellraiser strategy is indeed built around Afro Ninja doing well?
It seems like they do it a lot. When he played Tinker, that one game where he was like 1-9 or something like that, or 0-9, and he still had like bots, Force Staff, Soul Ring, Bottle, and they managed to like turtle it out and eventually turn the game because the enemy could never go high ground. I forget who they were playing when it was that series, but it just shows that if you rely on players like that who are individually talented, it can pay off. So I do feel like Hellraisers might have a tendency to do that kind of style.
Pixel, anything you are looking forward to seeing from Hellraisers? Anything you want to see from them?
I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Afro Ninja if he picks up the Quap, because I think that seems to be the hero that, especially last time we saw, he was the one that was turning the game around with the Queen of Pain.
The guys out here are so distracting. It's just... Sorry.
Don't worry about it, Owen. You look dashing.
I look fabulous, I know.
You're actually like rock starish. Normally I only see these people on pictures. It's nice to see one live.
Well, it's all your work, Shiva. So
It's nice. I should do it again sometime.
No, I don't know about that. I think this will be a one-off, this guy.
Oh. Well, you don't see it on camera. Why
At
wouldn't
least it's
you?
not that thick. You'll probably be able to get it off quite easily.
Yeah, it should be.
Mine was like caked on. It was super dark as well. Like, I got home and I thought I got it all off my face, and I was like, yeah, okay. Oh. Oh.
What color was it then?
It was black.
It was
Like,
black.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very, very dark. And I don't know. It was weird. Looked like somebody took something and just stamped it around my eye. Wasn't good.
Glorious. Sorry, Owen, but I interrupted you. Queen of Pain, I
Queen of
actually
Pain,
agree.
Afro Ninja. Yeah, Queen of Pain. Well, I think it's SF as well that he has a lot of luck on. He's very good with that hero as well. So, and of course, Hellraisers has got a big bogged down with saying the other day, one of those teams that are a big fan of just full-on aggression, which is going to give us exciting games, hopefully.
Yeah. And of course, they're up against Basically Unknown. How basically unknown do you think they are, Owen?
Well,
I'd say more like
they've got
relatively.
a rise at the moment, haven't they? I know he got dropped, but then he did get taken back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
He did
He's
get
a-
taken back. So if we see him on the Magnus, then we can expect to see some big plays, which I'm sure they will. If Magnus is available, I'll be surprised if they don't take it. I mean, Arise recently as well in the Face It Pro League, I've seen a couple of games, he's always on the Magnus. If the Magnus is there, the team take it from him because he's just so damn good on it. He knows it's one of those heroes and kind of player combinations that you just can't falter. It's very, very strong.
I was actually thinking that maybe because Arise Magnus, it's actually like a signature hero from like last year or even before that. It's just a long time ago, but it's still then played a lot for Arise anyway. Then I take it if you saw him play that in.
Yeah. I mean,
Face It
I
Pro
think as
League?
you were saying as well in other tournaments, Magnus is still a hero that's very, very, very relevant. So in this meta,
absolutely.
Yeah,
But then why didn't we see him yesterday that much, Andy?
he's a hard hero, isn't he?
Well, it's not that he's super hard. It's just that he has a high skill cap. So there are a lot of heroes in Dota where you can be proficient, but you're not necessarily amazing at it. Like Tinker, for example. Like Tinker has a ridiculously high skill cap. The small things with Magnus are just like positioning plays and knowing when to go in and what heroes you need to focus on. Any initiator or counter initiator, the thing that you always have to have in the forefront of your mind is who is the biggest threat that I always need to be able to ulti at any given point. And when I go in, is there anybody on the other team that's going to be able to counter my initiation? Because that mentality changes the way that you play the game. So I think that Arise is very good at playing any hero who is patient enough to be able to go in and find the perfect RP or the perfect echo or something like that. Like some players just have that awareness.
A lot of times when I listen to Casto, if there's like an Enigma or Magnus, I mean, sometimes the casters say, you should not wait for that perfect RP, not for that perfect black hole, because then you might end up saving it like for the entire game, never getting anything out of it. Is that not true?
Well, it's the same kind of decision-making process. So say, for example, the game is split pushy, and you have like one or two heroes everywhere, and then of course, it's always okay to spend your RP, because in those types of games, you have to understand that the lineup of your opponent is either based around 5-man or it's not. In some games, it can be they pick a Rubik, or they pick like Avenge, for example, two heroes who are very annoying to play against as those types of heroes. And then finding the RPs is difficult because you always need to be aware of where they are. But if you're playing against a team like TI3 or TI3 style, where there's just like a bunch of rats, it doesn't matter. You can RP anybody you want. So it's a game-to-game basis that you have to make that decision.
And it's also like it changes over the course of the game, and I think people are still a bit too restrictive with using their ultis early in the game. I mean, Enigmas and Magnus, especially Enigmas though, because you can just run out as soon as you're level 6 and just ult one guy. Just do it right away, because you're probably not going to do the ult for another 3 minutes anyway. You're going to stay in the woods. Yeah. So I think people are bad at using them. The big ult is early in the beginning on just single targets, which I think is very valuable.
Especially, like you said, Enigma is probably the biggest one because that ulti not only gets you a kill, but it can also be a tower on top of it to push. So yeah, I mean, it's a different style of playing the game when you're playing those types of heroes. Enigma is a little bit different than like a Shaker, for example, or a Magnus, because the beginning, obviously, you're going to be laning and you're not free farming. So it's a bit easier, I think, for Enigma to utilize his farm, which is why so many teams love picking him in a lot of situations. But I think you have to be that kind of player to be able to know when you can use your ultimate and when you can't. But that's hard, right? That comes from experience, and that's why Rise is such a great Magnus, because he plays the crap out of that hero.
Of course, our second series of today, we'll see Complexity as one of the 2 teams. Let's take a look at Complexity statistics. They will be going up against Eternal Envy's Disciples. We don't have any stats for them, so it's Complexity that we can read into most of all. Bogdan, anything you see here that you
speaking of the Enigma, it was almost like we were leading into this.
I totally intended for that.
Yes, of course. No, but that's the one that stands out the most by far to me. Both the most preferred pick and one of the most banned heroes. I mean, of course, they're correlated. You tend to ban it more if they like playing it. But yeah, the Enigma standing out, otherwise it's pretty lackluster.
Yeah, I think the reason why we see it so prevalent from Complexity is if you look at the bans as well, a lot of teams ban Venge against them, and that's great, because not a lot of people are picking Rubik nowadays, and that's one of the other heroes that you just like, oh yeah, we pick Rubik, and then Enigma can never use his black hole. And it's really frustrating, because Puppy once said, it's not even just your black hole, it's the threat of the black hole, and enemies just have to play in a different way. So I think because not a lot of teams have either of those heroes available playing against Complexity, it's a greedy pick in a way that you're a jungler, but you contribute so much if you just are able to get the first like 8 to 10 minutes of the game to yourself. If that happens, you just snowball and you crush every single lane.
True. OD, EE's Disciples.
Yeah, they should be good fun.
Tell me about them.
Well, we don't know a lot about them. I don't even know if we've got the player names. I'm sure we do. But there's not a lot to say apart from we're going to hope that there's going to be... to be fair, a lot of the underdogs that we have seen so far have done really well against the teams that actually have made a name for themselves. So hopefully
they all made it through qualifiers.
Exactly. Yeah. So they've got to be good in the first place. But especially with Crucial, and yesterday it was with
Yellow
Submarine that we were just talking about. Yeah.
And flip side, I mean, they made it actually through to the semifinals. I believe that's the first open qualifier team.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
Am I saying that right last time?
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
I mean, that's definitely interesting as well. I mean, that's just, it's the dream, breaking through in a tournament. This is actually a chance for them to do that. I don't believe I've seen EA's Disciples anywhere else in terms of play, though.
No.
Have not.
In terms of betting, I'm not going to ask you yet because we're going to discuss that later when EGM is here as well. But in terms of expectancies, in terms of both series, scores?
Hellraiser will win probably 2-0.
2-0, okay.
Yeah. And then I think Complexity will probably also win 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Owen?
I think we're in for a long haul today. I think we're going to get 2-1s. I think basically, and then we'll take a game against Hellraisers. And I'm feeling it today. I feel the underdogs. EA's Disciple. You don't name your team that if you're not any good. So, I mean, come on. I mean, they're going to be used to coming second, but, you know, second is higher than fifth or sixth.
They have to get to the semi-finals.
Exactly. So they've got a final. Yeah, so screw it. We'll say 2-1 to EA's Disciples.
Damn it, you took my underdog bet.
Okay, well.
It's a value bet, that one. Definitely EA's Disciples.
It will be a while before we find out if you're right or wrong, but for now, I am going to make the casters leave the couch, and it is time for our guest of the week, EGM. Welcome back, and indeed with us, EGM. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
I heard you had a nice amount of cheeseburgers.
Yeah, 2 cheeseburgers. It was great. Sorry, Draskell.
To be fair, Draskell did say that he didn't want them.
Yeah, he said
at first.
He scammed me to blame me later on.
It worked?
It worked.
It definitely worked. So for today, first series of today, Hellraisers, basically unknown. Anything you can add to what the casters already just said? You feel?
I'm not sure it's playing basically unknown anymore.
A Rise, one of them. It's like the only known
Yeah,
player.
it's a Rise.
It's a Rise.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably better is Hellraisers to go there because
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's playing in that team.
What do you think? I mean, yesterday we talked about the end results of the entire brackets. Do you think Hellraisers is indeed like good enough to take it to the top?
Yeah, of course.
Kinda.
They've shown before that they're a really strong team. So yeah, they could take it all away.
Any favorite player for Hellraisers?
Hellraisers, their mid player is pretty good.
For
So
Ninja.
Shadow Fiend and I've seen a Shadow Fiend being pretty good.
We can actually take a closer look at for Ninja, as we do have player profiles as well, and we can see what indeed his qualities are. Most of all, actually, both Afro Ninja and the Rise are actually in terms of the teams that are playing in this qualifier right now, have one of the more higher involvement rates in terms of kills, in terms of only mid players, which is of course it's detrimental for their play style. They play very aggressive. They're everywhere they're fighting. I'm surprised there's no Quap in here. I mean, but these are stats that are 6.83, not only post the AC, so they're slightly old, unfortunately. So we saw Death Prophet and Brew.
Yeah.
Why don't we see Death Prophet and Brew anymore?
Pushing lineups tend to be not that picked anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Death Row, but the Panda.
Yeah, the Panda.
Why not?
I think Panda is still picked, right?
Yeah, I think so, but not as much.
Not
as
but,
much.
But yeah, he's picked a bit.
Yeah. I think people just those like those phases. People learn how to play in heroes and then they disappear for a while, and then they come back. So it's been like that with Panda many times. It's been back and forth. It didn't even change much on him.
No, but it feels like very much of this is like arbitrary cycles of popularity.
Exactly.
It's like whatever you see more, you think more about, and you think it's good, and you
Then
it's sort of a collective blackout because everyone forgets the heroes that no one
and then
plays.
it comes back from nowhere, and it's like, oh, it's so good. And it's been the same for like
because
2
the patch
years.
didn't change either
exactly.
in this case, or at least I mean it's the same patch, so it's odd to see heroes just basically disappear.
Yep.
Flavor of the month for you. A troll doesn't disappear.
No.
Well, it's been the same for a very long time.
Yeah,
before
that's
This
people.
is true.
Yeah, and then suddenly he just came in, and now he's in every game.
Yep.
And he was like that for like
Almost.
super long time.
Yeah, the
it's
biggest change is the attack speed triggering from the first one, right? From the first
Yeah, I
attack.
think the whirling axis got I'm not actually sure, but it was pretty much the same for a long time. I still didn't pick him up.
And in terms of next patch, do you think because I mean that hero has been the same for all time. Which hero is going to be next? Which is who is the next troll? I think Casters yesterday said CK.
Well, it depends. The next patch decides, I guess.
It's very difficult to predict.
If on some here and nerfs on some, then they disappear, the nerfed heroes, and the buffs come in.
Okay.
This is how it is.
I think Nikes is going to make a comeback. Not sure
we
why,
haven't
but I
seen
think
him in a
so.
long time.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Not that much.
But
I'm not sure why. Just a feeling.
it could be. I mean, only something could be changed, and like I said, it could be something entirely different that just makes him stronger. It doesn't even have to be a change with the life stealer. Oh, there we have it, the life stealer.
We have player profiles of the heroes.
Ooh, he likes Abyssal Blade and Basher.
Yeah, he's very good.
And also like Songa and Son Joshua.
Yeah, that's they love.
He loves the combo. Both just get more value.
More value. I mean, of the games today, the first series, we know Hellraisers is super aggressive and they're fighting all the time. And basically Unknown is the underdog in this series, for sure. Anything that you think that could be very important for basically Unknown to think about when they are playing an F1 Ninja team in terms of fighting? I mean, basically Unknown also likes to fight. They like the Magnus. They like to work around that one. Is there anything, maybe, is it not good to pick a Magnus in this case?
I don't know. I'm thinking that it might be good for them to play on Hellraisers making mistakes because they might be too aggressive. Playing heroes like Dazzle, Abaddon, Omni Knight, that kind of hero that can come in and save and turn a fight. That's probably how I would reason as well. Maybe also with a slight hint of me thinking Hellraisers is a better team as well. That you have to like try to find a way of beating a team that is slightly better. Then you have to have some kind of angle.
Yeah.
And that's my first thought at least.
Would you agree?
I think as long as I think they need to go on strong lanes against. I think most CIS teams they just want to aim on strong lanes so you don't get snowball in the early game. So yeah, just go for strong lanes and try to wait for a mistake, as you said.
So then go for a slightly defensive lineup.
Defense, but still like strong, so it's strong enough to handle the early game.
But
Not like
does
a
the Magnus
Dusavik.
fit in that?
Magnus fits in any like.
Oh.
It could be like a defense line, but it could be as long as you got a hero that benefits from empower, you can do anything with that hero.
Okay, we are, by the way, having apparently some issues with loading in. Just a heads up that we are slightly delayed because of it. But that actually gives me enough time to still point out the contest. Facebook.com/ROG Nordic is the contest where it's at. You can go there and then list your favorite hero of the week or your most MVP hero of the week. You also have to specify why, and preferably it shouldn't be troll. Unless nobody has mentioned troll, then you might have a good shot, actually.
No, still not.
No?
Please.
Okay, no. Never mind. And actually, what you can win is a mouse and a mouse pad. And oh yeah, there's a bird there too. And basically, they're here. It's a Gladius mouse and a regular nice mouse, but I actually used it today.
Oh.
Slightly used.
Slightly used by Shiva.
It's got some of my palm sweat on it.
Great.
Yeah. it's great.
Value.
Value points right there. Should be on eBay. Loads of money. But yeah, you can win those. You can just go to the Facebook page and actually, well, have a chance, have a shot. I believe there's 5 mice and 5 mouse pads this week to give. Could be wrong, but it's at least not just one. So you have definitely got a chance. So we are soon loading in. It seems like actually we have loaded in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue talking, leave these two sitting on the couch, and we are going to head over to Odie, Pixel, and Draskell for our first game of the day.